Hello and welcome back to Little Bighorn Treasure Hunting Sources 9. Today I'm going to show you some different trapdoor carbines. All of them are under that serial number 43,700 that need to be in the Custer range. And these here will show some of the flaws and some of the things that were done to these carbines. If you recall, I told you how weak the wrists on these guns were, and you can see how thin that is to a stock that was later put on afterwards, beefed up in the wrist. Those are called the short comb or long wrist, the originals, and these others have a thicker wrist. Well, the casings would get hot and stuck in these carbines. They were made out of copper, they had verdigris from being in the ammo belts. So consequently, they could not reload them. The ejectors would just pull the head off the copper case. And this one here happens to have the original stock with it that got broken. It was probably used for a club and broken by the severity of the crack. And it's been put in a short comb, long wrist original carbine stock. All the other pieces are there. But if you look at the muzzle and here at the end, it's almost like blood prints from hands, like somebody was swinging a bat with a bloody fist. But if you come over here, this still has a lot of the original just condition of the stock. And there is some togia on it. And it also has the soldier's initials here. And the history with this piece is, during my examination of this 1873 Springfield trapdoor, serial number 41,140, with the original damaged stock, I found the name Comes Again written in togia on the left side of the wrist of the damaged stock. I also found the Makaiku band mark and the English letters JJG Company L in the same location as shown on illustration 1. On the left side of the damaged stock, I found Comes Again written in part of the following togia message: Comes Again, Aglala, Makaiku, Band, Rosebud, Greasy Grass, is shown on illustration 2. Comes Again and the Makai band mark are also found on the right side of the damaged stock, as shown on illustration 3. Comes Again is found written twice along with a Makaiku band mark on the bottom of the damaged stock, as shown on illustration 4. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Comes Again, Waka Oglala Sioux was born in 1845. His father's name was Day. Comes Again fought alongside Crazy Horse and Little Big Man at the Rosebud and the Little Bighorn. During the Slim Butte battles, he stayed at the camp 15 miles south of the battle as a camp guard. During the Wolf Mountain battle, Comes Again helped Crazy Horse move the families ahead of the soldiers. Peter Comes Again surrendered with Crazy Horse in May 1877 and settled in the Pine Ridge Reservation. He lived until his death in 1948 at the age of 103 years old in the White Clay District. Some of his personal belongings were donated to the Smithsonian Museum. I believe the English letters written on the stock of this carbine are the initials of James J. Galvin, a private of Company I, 7th Cavalry. Galvin was killed at the Little Bighorn and is buried in the mass grave at Last Stand Hill. I also believe this gun is a Company L gun because there are known guns in similar range: 41,290, 41,427, 41,478. And so next we'll go over to the one that is being restocked. And if you look here, you can see the initials HL that were punched in. Remember how Custer had his men put their initials on their guns. Some of them were punched in, carved in. I've seen all different kinds of ways. But here's the letter on this one. And all the other parts seem to be 100% original, including the butt plate. and it's just the new thicker wrist stock that's been put on it. It's part of my examination of this 1873 Springfield trapdoor, serial number 41331. I have reviewed the physical components of this carbine and have come to the conclusion that it has been reassembled because the original carbine was damaged at the Battle of Little Bighorn. I believe the original weapon was carried by Private Henry August Lang, Company E, 7th Cavalry, based on the initials on the butt plate. Lang was attached to the pack train and was wounded fighting the Sioux at Reno's Crossing at the Buffalo Wallow. During the battle, the stock of this carbine was damaged. In the summer of 1878, new stocks were ordered to repair the damaged 7th Cavalry carbines. Butt plates were also ordered but did not come in with the stocks. In 1879, the roll call order was sent out, and the 2nd Cavalry was ordered to turn in their carbines because the carbines were all below the 50,000 serial range in the recall. The 2nd Cavalry was in the jurisdiction of 1st Lieutenant James Ayers of the Abraham Lincoln Ordnance Department, and he devised an economical solution to repair the carbines using parts from the 7th Cavalry. By this time, the 7th Cavalry, due to the significant losses at the Little Bighorn, had returned the damaged carbines and received replacement weapons, the new 1877 model carbine. I believe the Armory personnel took the part of serial number 41331, the butt plate, side lock, and the barrel, and replaced the stock with a stock from a damaged 1877 carbine belonging to the 7th Cavalry. This procedure explains the cartouche and proof mark on the stock, serial number 41331. So then next, we're going to go to one that's been just heavily sanded. Now remember, you get these old guns, just oil them. Don't sand them, don't clean them, don't put steel wool on them. Leave them as they are. But fortunately, this piece still has some of the original markings on it, and it's truly a significant piece. And here's the history on this one, and it's nice because we actually have, if I can pick it up here, we actually have a picture of the Indian. That's Iron Horse, and he was Crazy Horse's brother-in-law. Lived right next to him in the teepee right next door. And there's another picture of him right there. And here's the history with him. See, remember the word horse? Remember that there? And here's the word iron. And I should have some other pieces, maybe some of them from that auction I still haven't been paid for. And this is in November 2023. I believe this could have been the soldier's name and maybe a rack number or something here that was obliterated for the limita, you know, my possession, to get rid of it. And numbers were sacred to the Indians, so a lot of times they left numbers. But the history on this is during my examination of this 1873 Springfield trapdoor, serial number 43619, I discovered the name Iron Horse written in Togia on the top of the stock, just above the butt plate as shown on illustration 1. Found Iron Horse Togia written in 3 other locations on the carbine, on the left wrist just below the saddle ring, on the right wrist, illustration 3, and on the right side of the stock, illustration 4. And the right side of the stock, you'll see, is very just heavily sanded. Iron Horse was born in 1851 to Oglala Sioux parents, and his siblings were Red Feather and Black Shaw Woman, Crazy Horse's wife. Iron Horse and Red Feather rode with Crazy Horse through the Indian Wars. I was told the following story about Iron Horse and Red Feather at the Little Bighorn battle from Benjamin Black Elk. Red Feather had a close relationship with Nicholas Black Elk, Benjamin's father, and Ben heard the stories of the battle many times. Ben said Red Feather accepted Catholicism and was very religious. He attended Mass 3 times a week at the Holy Rosary Mission. Iron Horse and Red Feather lived in their mother's lodge, which was located 3 lodges from Black Shaw and Crazy Horse. In the morning of the battle, the brothers were looking for their horses by Muscat Creek. because Crazy Horse had told them the night before to prepare for battle. They heard shots come from the south, so they rode back to their lodge to get their weapons. They saw a black shawl standing outside her lodge and asked her where they could find Crazy Horse. She told them he was at the river with Yellow Nose, the Cheyenne, for a morning swim. The men then went to their lodge, prepared for battle. Their mother pleaded for one of them to stay and protect her, but they told her to go with Black Shawl. The men were mounting their horses when Crazy Horse and Yellow Nose rode up. Crazy Horse called to them and said, "It is a good day to die, and it's better to die young." Crazy Horse prepared himself for battle, but he didn't seem to be in a rush. He seemed to know the outcome of the battle before it started. When he was finally ready, Crazy Horse told Black Shawl to take her mother and Big Road's wife Shaggy and their daughters, Transparent and First Walk, and ride for the timber. He said that Big Road had instructed their son, Curly Hair, to guard everyone in the timber and to take his rifle along. Crazy Horse gave them more instructions as to how to fight, and then rode out of the camp to the east. They were almost to the river when a warrior yelled that the soldiers were crossing the river. So Crazy Horse and his men rode between the trees, crossed the Greasy Grass, or Little Bighorn, at the Cedar Coulee ford. The river was full of water, so the horses' bellies were touching the water. They rode south on the east side of the river, and here, I'll turn here and you can see some other marks. Crazy Horse was out in front and hit his soldier with his war club. Just as the soldier made it to the top of the bank, he kept on killing soldiers with his war club as they came out of the river. Everyone started to chase the soldiers as they turned to get up the hill. Just then, a new group of soldiers came, and Red Feather said he and Iron Horse rode up to a soldier who was aiming at Iron Horse. Red Feather said he swung his war axe at the man, but he ducked out of the way. But Iron Horse was able to grab the man's carbine out of his hand. Red Feather tried again to club the soldier, but the man's horse was too fast. Red Feather turned back to join Iron Horse, who was holding the carbine in the air in celebration of a coup. Crazy Horse came and said the soldiers of Long Hair were heading north toward the village. So they rode back along the east bank along the Greasy Grass. As they rode north, many more warriors joined them at the Cedar Coulee ford. They must have seen the same thing. Ben told me Red Feather said when they arrived at the Medicine Tail Coulee, the air was so filled with dust from all the horses it was hard to see. Red Feather said they waited for the dust to settle, but then they heard a shot from a big gun and saw soldiers off to the east riding up the deep coulee. Crazy Horse turned the group and rode after the soldiers. Gall and the Hunk Papa were right behind them and attacked the first soldiers as they stood in a long line, while Crazy Horse followed the soldiers who went over the ridge into the deep coulee. When they came over the ridge to come around from the backside of the Buffalo Wallow, they saw many soldiers spread out in two great lines. Iron Horse told Red Feather he wanted to get some cartridges for his new carbine. Red Feather said he told Iron Horse he should be able to get some from the next soldier to be killed. But the men found a dead soldier on the ground and found some cartridges in his bag. Iron Horse shot up all the cartridges before the day was over, according to Red Feather. He and Iron Horse rode around after the battle and found more cartridges. Crazy Horse then came and said that we must go find the women and the children in the timber, and they crossed back across the river. Based on the story of the battle, I believe Iron Horse took this carbine from a soldier from Company B, who were the guards of the pack train and had come late to Reno's Crossing. I have identified another carbine from Company B, serial number 40616, which has markings on it which state Company B27. I believe it belonged to Private George B. Mask. Private Mask was killed at Little Bighorn in the area I believe Red Feather said Iron Horse took his carbine. This carbine stock number 40369 has been heavily sanded, so some of the markings have been removed, but I believe it probably was marked with Company B because of General Custers' directive that all the weapons of the 7th Cavalry be marked. After the Indian Wars were over, Iron Horse married Ind in 1878 and had 4 daughters. and they lived on the Pine Ridge Reservation in South Dakota. Next, but not least, we have another trapdoor, and this one is serial number 33993. Now, the really interesting thing about this one is if you open the trapdoor, cock it back, and look inside, you can see that there is a broken cartridge. And that was the problem with these, is the head would come off the cartridges and they would stick in there, and then they weren't fireable. So then they used them for a club. What else could they use them for? Till they got it out later. But this one is the report. During my examination, serial number 33993, in 1873 Springfield trapdoor saddle ring, I found the name Crazy Bear, Hunk Papa, written in Togi on the left side of the stock as part of the following message. Crazy Bear, Hunk Papa, Acasita Police, rode with Thunderhawk, Greasy Grass, Little Bighorn, as shown in illustration 1. I also found the band mark of Thunderhawk. Another Togi message was found written on the right side of the stock. See illustration 2, which states, Crazy Bear, Hunk Papa, Acasita Police, rode with Chief Thunderhawk, Rosebud, along with Thunderhawk's band mark. Crazy Bear, Hunk Papa, Acasita is also found written on the right wrist, bottom of the wrist, and the bottom of the forearm. Crazy Bear was born in 1846 to Hunk Papa Lakota parents. Crazy Bear is a member of the Acasita Warrior Society, joined the Standing Rock Indian Reservation Police Force, and given the name Felix Matawitko. See the attached to the roster of Standing Rock Indian Force. I believe this carbine is a 3rd Cavalry issued carbine which was taken by Crazy Bear at the Rosebud Battle. Government records of 1873 Springfield trapdoor serial numbers taken by the Indians and recaptured by government forces include 33,149, 33,155, 33,815, 34,723, and 3644. Verbal stories and marking on these carbines include the serial number carbines that were taken at the Rosebud. And this was also used at Greasy Grass, Little Bighorn. Well, that's it for today. I hope I taught you something, and I've enjoyed it. These are some pretty cool and historic pieces. And I wish you luck. God bless. Have a good day.